Channel 24 News. I'm Dylan Hong.
And I'm Christian Jason.
And today we have a special report on marijuana and steroids. Now reporting live from Adams High School is Alex Truesdale with a story on marijuana.
I'm Alex Truesdale, and I will bring you a story on marijuana. Beginning April 20th and continuing throughout the weekend, swarms of so-called stoners will be gathering on grassy knolls, city streets, and even the U.S. Capitol steps to celebrate the International Marijuana Holiday known as 420. And while the yearly pungent protests are often treated as sideshows, the issue of legalized cannabis and the benefits it is providing to a variety of Americans is growing too big to ignore. While the origins of the festivals remain as hazy as the celebrations themselves, 420 is believed to be a reference to police code used in the 1970s in California to note a marijuana arrest in progress. And while the term may have started off as something of an inside joke among the 1970s culture, the holiday seems to be taking on a more mainstream feel as folks consider the practical benefits of legalization. And the growing signs of public acceptance, pro-cannabis activists were literally handing out joints on the steps of the U.S. Capitol Thursday afternoon. And yes, there have been arrests. Some 28 states and the District of Columbia now have laws permitting the use of marijuana in some form. Canada is considering a bill to legalize it nationwide. And while growing a number of polls and studies suggest many Americans are coming around to the idea of legalized cannabis, the issue is still a subject of intense debate at the highest levels. According to data compiled by Governing Magazine, more than half the states in the nation have the laws that either use broadly. That doesn't include the small number of states like Alabama and Mississippi, who have laws permitting the use of marijuana for certain medical conditions like severe epilepsy. A Yahoo/Marist poll released earlier this week revealed that 2/3 of respondents think prescription painkillers like Vicodin and are riskier to use than marijuana. Some 83% of respondents in the same poll believe marijuana should be legalized for medical use nationwide. Despite the widespread legalization of drugs for various purposes, marijuana remains just that, a drug in the eyes of the federal government, classified as a Schedule I illegal substance under DEA guidelines. Marijuana is put on the same class as heroin and cocaine. The Obama Justice Department told U.S. attorneys that states that would be allowed to pursue legalization despite the federal restrictions. However, it is legal when it comes to President Trump's administration. The issue gets more complicated still.
Thanks, Alex, on the great story. Now, Chris, what do you have to know about marijuana?
Cannabis, also known as marijuana, is the most used drug in the United States. Marijuana has had serious effects on the young generation, as more than 11 million people from ages 18 to 25 used marijuana in 2015. Research says that people who started smoking marijuana heavily in their teens and an ongoing marijuana use lost an average of 8 IQ points between ages 13 and 38.
So then, why do people use this harmful drug?
Well, a chemical called THC is released from the lungs to the bloodstream when you smoke weed. The chemical is then carried to all parts of the body, such as your brain. This is when people feel that high. Their senses, mood, thinking, and body movement are all altered, and you make less aware of where you are. In the long run, smoking weed can negatively affect your brain development.
Now I have Nick Mason with me to discuss facts on steroids.
Steroids are a common drug because many teenagers use them to bulk up and look good. Doctors can prescribe steroids to a patient that has delayed puberty, cancer, or AIDS. Steroids are usually injected using a needle, and when abused without a doctor's consent, it can be very dangerous. Misuse of steroids can cause mood swings, manic behavior, insomnia, and irritability, and lack of good judgment. Men specifically can have hair loss, infertility, and can increase a man's risk of prostate cancer. Women, on the other hand, usually experience male pattern hair loss, breast reduction, and permanently deafened voices.
Thank you, Nick. And now we interviewed a couple students from Adams, and this is what they said.
Do you think that marijuana is a problem at Adams High School?
I do think that marijuana is a very widespread problem at Adams High School, as there are multiple people whom I know that have smoked marijuana before outside of school.
Okay, second question. Do you think that steroids is a problem at Adams High School?
No, I do not think that steroids is a problem at Adams High School, as I've not heard of anybody using steroids at Adams.
Alright, thank you. Do you think marijuana is a problem at Adams High School?
I think it's definitely a problem because at Adams, kids have too much money, so they can afford to buy drugs and everything, and at parties it's definitely a problem.
Alright, second question. Do you think steroids is a problem at Adams High School?
I don't really know anyone that does steroids, so I don't think it's a big problem. I think people should still be educated about the dangers of it because I think a lot of people don't know about it, but it's not as much of a problem.
Alright, thank you. Do you think marijuana is a problem at Adams High School?
Yes, definitely. A lot of kids do it, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's definitely a problem here.
Alright, second question. Do you think steroids are a problem at Adams High School?
Not really. I haven't really noticed many kids using them, so yeah.
Alright, thank you.
As you can see, marijuana is a big problem at Adams, and steroids isn't as profound, but it's still a big problem around the country. Thank you for tuning in with us today. I'm Dylan Hall.
I'm Alex Truesdale.
Signing off.